Now, the UK government is facing fresh challenges in the court after the government decided to give the go-ahead for the country's first new coal mine in almost 30 years. The environmental group Friends of the Earth say that it will take legal action against the government after ministers granted planning permission for a new coal mine in Cumbria. The environmental campaign group says that it would file its claim against the fossil fuel extraction project later this month. According to the lawyer of this group, with the world facing a climate emergency, they should not have to take this challenge to court. They say that any sensible government should be choosing to leave coal in the ground and instead accelerate the transition to a safe, clean and sustainable future. Moreover, opponents of the government say that the mine would create more greenhouse emissions and its approval is contrary to the UK government's stated net zero goal. But considering the current geopolitical tensions, the decision taken by the UK, like many other countries, to increase its energy independence comes in the wake of Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine and Moscow blocking its gas supply to Europe. Moreover, the UK, which had hosted the COP26 climate summit in Glasgow, where nations agreed to focus on limiting global temperature rise to 1.5 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels, failed to bring forward the stringent measures needed to meet that goal. Since then, the UK's international leadership on the climate has been called into question. After a string of decisions, including new North Sea licenses, the new coal mine, cash for fossil fuel projects in developing countries, and further slashing of overseas aid. Moreover, Alok Sharma, the president of COP26, was also thrown out of the cabinet by Rishi Sunak and no longer has an official climate role.
And has recently released Working Group 1's contribution.
And for more analysis, we're now being joined by our correspondent Alex Izat from London. Alex, thanks for joining us. At a time when there is a call to transition to a safe, clean and sustainable future, how does the UK government justify giving a go-ahead to the country's first new coal mine in almost 30 years?
There seems to be the justification is that this particular coal mine, which won't be used for energy and gas supply, which would be used to help the steel industry, will only benefit the country because at the moment we are importing all our steel, and if we can make it within the country, then we're likely to be giving more jobs and we don't have to use so many emissions by getting that steel across from other countries that we're getting from at the moment. Now, they have kept saying that they're going to offset these emissions that are going to come from this new coal mine. However, offsetting emissions is like having some cake now and then going to the gym after. It doesn't always benefit the whole of yourself and therefore the whole of the world. Emissions are a real issue at the moment and we're going into a climate crisis. Having a new coal mine is really undermining what the UK government has been saying for the past few years, and specifically in Glasgow COP26 when they pushed for other countries to halt their own productions of coal. Yet here we are going forward and starting our own.
Right, Alex, climate activists have voiced their outrage. So are we expecting more disruptive climate protests following this move?
Absolutely. With Friends of the Earth, they have pushed this action forward and they really want to find out exactly where we're coming to the conclusion, with Michael Gove's talking about emissions and offsetting and all of those procedures that he keeps saying it's not going to be as bad as we think it is. But Friends of the Earth are saying, well, we actually need some evidence, we need some proof. We also need to show that this coal mine won't leak extra emissions that won't be counted. There's also going to be another legal action taken with South Lakes Action Group. So they're based in Cumbria. They had already tried to stop this from going ahead when Cumbria Council agreed to the coal mine back in 2020. So we've got two here, companies and environmental agencies and lawyers, and they all want to try and at least get some of that detail that's missing from what is this going to do to the country, and not just the country but the world as well. And as I said, we are facing this climate crisis right now.
Right, Alex, thank you so much for all those insights. Thanks for joining us today on WION. WION World is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.